With Ancelotti taking over the Brazilian national team, there's been a lot of buzz about the possible return of that Brazil, the one that used to strike fear into opponents and look destined to finally win their 6th World Cup.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
That's right, 2026 will mark 24 years since that legendary 2002. The last time I was promised a Tamagotchi after breaking 3, and incidentally, the last time Brazil won the World Cup. Brazil won that tournament undefeated, but the road to that 5th title was anything but smooth. Before they hoisted that trophy, Brazil wasn't exactly dancing their way to glory. They arrived in Japan, Korea under more pressure than Manchester United manager after 2013. Let's rewind 4 years to France 98. Brazil had lost the final. Fast forward to the qualifiers for the 2002 World Cup, and things looked grim. That's when Luis Felipe Scolari, aka Felipao, stepped in. Under his command, Brazil managed to qualify barely, leaving fans more worried than hopeful. And to add to the controversy, Scolari made the bold call to leave out Romario, a fan favorite and proven talent. Instead, he bet on someone else, Ronaldo. Yes, that Ronaldo, the one who had spent nearly 2 years dealing with knee injuries, stuck between hospital beds and rehab, but the time had come. The World Cup started and the first match was against Turkey, a team on fire and soon to become one of the surprises of the tournament, along with South Korea, though Korea's surge came with a few mysteriously favorable calls, as fans from Spain and Italy still remember so fondly. Turkey struck first, Hassan Sass put them ahead, but then Ronaldo, yes, el Fenómeno, showed up and equalized. Then came a penalty for Brazil, one so soft the referee must have thought he was officiating another Korea match. Brazil converted. Near the end, Turkey went down to 9 men after Rivaldo received a brutal ball, which surely left him doubtful about continuing in this tournament. Brazil won but didn't exactly convince. Match 2, Brazil versus China. Yep, China has a national football team, not just table tennis. But judging by this performance, they might have wanted to stick with ping pong. This time Brazil woke up. Roberto Carlos nearly tore the net with one of his trademark free kicks. Rivaldo added another. Ronaldinho slotted home a penalty. And of course, Ronaldo wrapped it all up. Final score 4-0, a samba show. Then came Costa Rica, what turned out to be quite a show. Ronaldo kicked things off with the first goal. Later, after a corner, El Fenómeno took control, danced past defenders for a few seconds, and scored his second. A brilliant brace. Edmilson chipped in with a spectacular bicycle kick goal. But Costa Rica reminded everyone they were still in a World Cup, scoring twice themselves. In the second half, Brazil stepped on the gas and sealed the deal with goals from Rivaldo and Roque Jr. Final score 5-2, but hey, when you're playing with Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Roberto Carlos, Cafu, and John Kaká warming the bench, it's basically a cheat code. Up to that point, Brazil had shown some smooth moves, racked up goals, and Rivaldo had fully recovered from that violent clash with Turkey. But now came the knockout stage, the round of 16. Belgium was Brazil's first big hurdle.
Absolutamente el partido mais difícil del mundial. E não poderíamos fazer nada, solo defendernos.
Esse jogo eu achei que nós voltaríamos pro Brasil.
From the first whistle, the Belgians came out with zero fear. In fact, they scored, or at least everyone thought they did. Wilmots headed the ball into the net, but the referee blew the whistle and disallowed the goal for a foul that only he, and probably Byron Moreno, could see. And right in the middle of the chaos, a name rarely mentioned among heroes appeared: Marcos, the goalkeeper. He saved everything: impossible shots, curling crosses, fierce long-range strikes, you name it. When Brazil needed a spark, the usual suspects stepped up. First, Rivaldo fired a deadly left-footed shot into the net. Then, of course, Ronaldo, receiving a perfect pass from Cleverson, with that killer instinct no coach can teach, sealed the deal. Brazil won 2-0. A match they easily could have lost. Next up was England, a team led by Beckham and featuring Owen, the 2001 Ballon d'Or winner, plus a true golden generation of talent. The match started, and within the first few minutes, it was Owen who pounced on a mistake by Lucio to open the scoring. Silence in Brazil. But instead of panic, the Jogo Bonito showed up. Brazil remembered the roots of their beautiful game.
Usually, if you're losing 1-0, you look stressed, you look kind of worried, And they were laughing and they were joking, and I thought, this is not a good sign.
And when we talk about having fun with the ball, we have to talk about His Majesty, Ronaldinho. In the final minutes of the first half, Ronaldinho picked up the ball near midfield, dribbled, spun around, laid it off perfectly, and Rivaldo buried it, the equalizer. But the best was yet to come. Right at the start of the second half, Brazil had a free kick from 40 meters out. Ronaldinho stepped up with a shot that had one thing in mind: goal. The ball soared, curved in a way that seemed impossible, and dropped behind Seaman, who probably still has nightmares about it. Goal. However, just minutes after that masterpiece, Ronaldinho was sent off for a challenge more clumsy than violent, and once again, Brazil had to survive, and they did. Final score 2-1. The Brazilian press was starting to look more positively at the team, but all anyone could still talk about was Ronaldo's injury, so El Fenómeno decided to shut down those rumors by distracting everyone with his brand new haircut. Suddenly, it became one of the most iconic haircuts ever. Unfortunately, my mom wasn't a football fan, so I ended up being the kid who never got the Ronaldo haircut. Back then, it was so popular that any barber would do it. Nowadays, you have to be super clear if you want this Ronaldo's cut or Cristiano Ronaldo's, or you might get a surprise. The semifinals felt like a deja vu. Turkey, the same opponent from the first match, but now thirsty for revenge. Brazil had plenty of chances that day, but Turkey's keeper, Rustu, saved everything. Brazil tried, but the ball just wouldn't go in, until Ronaldo decided to end suspense. In one play, he took the ball, controlled it half-heartedly, and nudged it with the tip of his boot. 1-0. After that, Ronaldo went to rest, and later, Denilson came on to gather all the Turks in one corner and waste some time. Final whistle, Brazil was going to the final for the third time in a row. June 30, 2002. Brazil and Germany were about to face off in a World Cup for the first time ever. The second meeting never really existed in the memory of Brazilians, so for now, let's stick to the one that had a happy ending. For this final, the big media showdown was Ronaldo versus Oliver Kahn, who had already won the tournament's Best Player award before the final. Since then, they always give the award after the finals because, well, Kahn didn't have his best game that day. The match kicked off, Brazil was attacking more, but Kahn looked unbeatable. He blocked a shot from Ronaldo that was almost a goal. Cleverson smashed a thunderous shot that rattled the crossbar. Germany had their chances too, but Marcos was there again to make the saves. It was a tie battle, then in the second half it happened. Minute 66, Ronaldo wins the ball in the opponent's half, passes to Rivaldo, who fires a left-footed shot that looks easy for the keeper, but Kahn, the impenetrable, fumbles it. And who's there? Ronaldo. He nudges it in and celebrates. The stadium erupts. Brazil leads 1-0. 10 minutes later, Rivaldo tricks the defense with a classy dummy, and Ronaldo curls a perfect shot tied to the post for the second goal. Impossible for Kahn to stop. The winner. 8 goals in the tournament for Ronaldo, top scorer by far. The clock kept ticking, and even though Germany tried, Brazil controlled the game. It was just a matter of time before Pierluigi Collina, one of the best refs ever and someone I've never wanted to meet eye to eye, blew the final whistle. And finally, it came. The end of the match. Brazil crowned 5-time champion. Ronaldo, tears in his eyes, thinking back to the heartbreak against France in '98, his injury and his comeback, finally found his redemption. All of Brazil celebrated, but what they didn't realize was that this was a goodbye to an era, a goodbye to a way of playing football that combined talent, joy and respect.